Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Board of Directors of Junior Achievement, I would like to welcome you to the wonderful evening of Junior Achievement hosts their 29th Annual Business Hall of Fame. Those of you that know me, you might be wondering why I'm so tall. Well, there's a little reasoning for that. Rick Duncan's coming up behind me, and he's about 8 inches taller than I am, so I'm standing on a milk crate. So he won't have to adjust the mic when he gets up here, which is good. Case in point, that's it. Tonight we pay tribute to some brilliant innovators in their chosen fields. At this time, I would like to acknowledge the Board of Directors for Junior Achievement. You won't be able to see them because they're all working, but I want you guys to give them a round of applause for their effort for this evening. I also want to thank all of you that have supported the programs throughout the year. Whether financially, through volunteering, or through the classroom, we've reached almost 3,500 students in our service region, which is amazing. That number is growing by the day. My employer is Reed Health, and so we've done a recent acquisition in Connersville, looking to expand with some great, brilliant people down in Connersville, so that's going to be a great addition. We continue to have more and more teachers reaching out to us for volunteers to expand in their classrooms, so anyone that's interested, please reach out to Melissa Davis. She is taking names, taking numbers for volunteers. We actually have more classes now than we do volunteers, so we need your help in a huge way. With that said, now on with the show. Thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. I know there's been lots of things with some hot topic across the world. I don't have to mention, you know what I'm talking about. But thank you for braving and coming out tonight. With that, I want to introduce a gentleman who has been with us for the last 5 years. He's you can hear him on the G1013 Morning Show, Mr. Rick Duncan.
All right, thank you, Craig, and welcome all to the largest gathering in the state of Indiana. We will be raffling off IndyCar Grand Prix tickets and a 10-pack of 2-ply toilet paper. So far, the current bid stands at $4,000. Now, on behalf of everyone here, thank you so much for being a part of the festivities this evening, and thank you for coming out. As Craig mentioned, I know there's a lot going on, but we greatly appreciate you being here and not only supporting the laureates tonight, but also all the good work that Junior Achievement does throughout the year. So, with that being said, join me in welcoming our 2020 honorees for Junior Achievement and their families. Our first laureate is Richard Peterson from Porter Advertising, escorted tonight by his son Lucas Peterson, his daughter Marissa James, and granddaughter Lucy. Our second laureate induction for tonight, Dr. Richard Sieber, Animal Hospital of Richmond, represented tonight by his family. And our third laureate, Bruce Upchurch, B&F Plastics. To our 2020 laureates, tonight we honor you for not only giving of your time, but also your talents and your enthusiasm, but also for your passionate leadership in encouraging and inspiring others to do the same. The individuals being honored tonight are not the first, and this is the 29th commemoration of the JA Eastern Indiana Business Hall of Fame, and we're very fortunate to have some of our past laureates in attendance this evening. All past laureates are being escorted tonight by JA students from Seton Catholic Elementary School. Clifford Dickman, laureate of 2001. Richard Jeffers, laureate 2003. David Karn, laureate 2013. John McBride, laureate 2014. the man who paid me $20 to say he's my favorite laureate, Gary Clear, laureate 2015. Bob Beaver, laureate 2016. Eric Van Vliet, laureate 2018. George Mosey, laureate 2019. And Andrea Mosey, representing Steve Mosey, laureate 2019. Thank you all for being here and coming back to the Junior Achievement Eastern Indiana Business Hall of Fame. Now, will you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Case Towns. Following the pledge, please remain standing as the invocation will be given by JA student Caitlin Scheiben.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please bow your heads. Thank you, Lord, for bringing us together to celebrate junior achievement and the honors tonight. In a world where many are hungry, may we eat this food with humble hearts. In a world where many are lonely, may we share our friendship with joyful hearts. Bless us, O Lord, and these thy gifts which we are about to receive from thy bounty through Christ our Lord. Amen.
So before we begin dinner, which I know you're looking forward to, if you check out the lovely centerpieces on your table, those were presented tonight by Flowers by Carla. And if you're interested in taking one home, I need you to look under your chair because the person with the yellow card takes home the centerpiece. So again, look under your chair. The one with the yellow card gets the centerpiece. And if the person is not sitting at your table, you will arm wrestle for the centerpiece if there's no one there. Okay. So now, before we get to dinner, it wouldn't be a fundraiser if we didn't do, especially the JA fundraiser, we're going to do the world's fastest fundraiser. So here's how it works. The goal is to raise $1,500 in 15 seconds. You all on board with this? Can we do this? $1,500 in 15 seconds? Surely we can. Here's how it works. So Lori Carr is here with a beautiful dessert tray. Please don't drop it. All of this is covered in hand sanitizer, by the way. So it's all good. So what you'll do then is, this is courtesy of Cafe at 1200 at Reed Health. Whichever table can fill the envelope in the middle, see the envelope in the middle of your table? Whoever can fill that envelope the fastest will win that dessert tray. So I imagine whoever stuffs a credit card in there would win, but bills are also acceptable. So 15 seconds. And go. All right. Dig deep, get some bills. I'm looking right at you, table 3. I'm looking right at you. All right. 5 seconds down. Pass it around. Keep going. 10 seconds down. Here we go. Dig deep. 3, 2. Now the music comes in. 3, 2, 1. All right, there we go. That was good. Well done. So, we're going to count up the money. We'll tell you which table wins momentarily. But in the meantime, please enjoy your dinner. Dinner is served. Program will get underway momentarily.
I'd like to thank you once again for attending this year's Junior Achievement Business Hall of Fame. I am thrilled to be inducting 3 incredible individuals into our Hall of Fame. Over the past few months, I've been able to speak with them, their families, or their closest friends, and learn about their lives, their family, all the successes they've had in business, their huge impact on the community. These men are truly deserving of this honor, and I look forward to celebrating them this evening. I would like to take the time to thank our JA Board of Directors for their outstanding work in the boardroom and in the classroom. I am proud of what we are accomplishing, and I'm thankful for the heart that they have for the JA mission and helping young people succeed and dream big. Last year at this event, being just shy of 3 months into my role with Junior Achievement, I stood up here and told everyone that Junior Achievement is a nonprofit organization that teaches local students about financial literacy, workforce readiness, and entrepreneurship. And that is all true. But from what I've experienced in the past year, I want to tell you that JA is a for-impact organization that changes kids' lives. Our programs are for kindergarten through 12th grade. We start in kindergarten teaching students about making choices, needs and wants, goods and services, learning what is money, how do you earn it, and the importance of saving it. Then in first grade, it builds upon all of those concepts, and they begin to learn about their neighborhood, the jobs their families have, and why businesses are important to their neighborhood. The word entrepreneur is introduced to them, and you get to hear about all of the businesses that they would like to start someday. In second grade JA, students learn about how jobs require specific skills, how money flows through a community's economy, and that voting is a responsible citizens act, just to name a few. And JA has activities woven into the lessons, and the kids truly enjoy learning about these concepts that are critical in making good financial decisions later in life and succeeding in a global economy. Now, I couldn't possibly tell you about all of our programs. We have almost 40 JA programs total. But I want you to know that our programs can change a kid's life. And our financial supporters and volunteers are making this happen. Our volunteers go into a classroom and help the students connect what they are learning in school to what happens in the real world. I ask you to join us in this impact. In a perfect world, every student in our district, which is Wayne, Union, Fayette, and Franklin County, would have JA starting in kindergarten and every single year until they graduate. We currently serve nearly 3,500 local students a year, but there are so many more to impact. Let's make this perfect world a reality. As Craig said earlier, you can reach out to me, and I will share with you how you can volunteer with a local class and be a JA mentor, giving 3 to 5 hours of your time with local students. And the result, building a stronger and better community and economy. Finally, I would like to congratulate our honorees for this evening. Each are unique in personality and have a different success story. It is my hope that one day that maybe the JA student that Lori Carr taught this year or Craig Towns had in class will be standing right here accepting our Eagle Award as well because of the skills they learned in JA. Gentlemen, and to Dr. Siebert's family, congratulations and thank you for investing in our community and our young people. And now I would like to introduce you to some of those young people. Here again are some JA students from Seton Catholic Elementary.
This year, we learned the characteristics of a free market economy. We also learned that entrepreneurship is and how business make people with technical skills to support high growth on demand jobs.
These skilled professionals combine science, technology, engineering, and mathematics to help grow and shape our economy.
More than half of all the businesses in the United States are small businesses started by entrepreneurs. There are even several businesses in Richmond and the surrounding area that were all started by entrepreneurs.
We often don't realize that entrepreneurs are all around us and that they provide our community with these products and services we use every day.
Can you name a successful entrepreneur from our community?
Mr. Richard Peterson of Porter Advertising.
Dr. Richard Siebert of Animal Hospital of Richmond.
Mr. Bruce Upchurch of B&F Plastics.
These entrepreneurs started many small businesses, and those small businesses evolved and grew into important parts of our community.
Porter Advertising helps local businesses grow through advertising. Animal Hospital of Richmond provided top-notch animal care in a loving environment. And B&F Plastics provides not only our community, but our country with high-quality plastics and rubber products.
The United States is part of a global economy. Large businesses are interdependent, meaning they depend on workers and suppliers outside of their company and who are often in other parts of the country or in other parts of the world.
Our school is a community business that, to run well, is interdependent on other businesses. For example, a school is dependent on publishers that supply textbooks to the classroom and magazines and books to the library, and food companies that supply cafeteria lunches and beverages.
Thank you for bringing junior achievement to our classrooms. Have a great evening.
Hello, my name is Raven Towns.
My name is Maya Hamilton.
We want to thank you all for coming to this dinner.
JA is a great way for kids like us to learn about the community. We love having people come in to teach us about JA.
JA is also a great way for us to learn about what we will need to do when we're older and have jobs. We decorated this poster board
to show how much we appreciate junior achievement.
We love JA.
Oh, yeah.
Let's give the kids another round of applause. Nice job. Well done. Over the past 29 years, we've recognized those individuals who played a major role in helping to shape the business environment here in Eastern Indiana. and tonight's inductees are no exception. These individuals, along with each of the past laureates, identified a need, had a dream, and acted upon it, often breaking new ground in the process. In a few moments, we'll add 3 more names to the Eastern Indiana Business Hall of Fame. And like the leaders who preceded them, these 2020 laureates truly are role models whose stories should be shared with our young people and preserved for future generations. And that's the purpose of the JA Eastern Indiana Business Hall of Fame. Identify the leaders and present compelling stories to celebrate their successes and motivate our next generation of entrepreneurs, business, and community leaders. Our first recipient is a third-generation businessman who has grown the family business to great success while helping other local businesses succeed, Richard Peterson.
Richard Paul Peterson was born to Joan Corinne Porter and Russell Paul Peterson on November 6, 1961. He attended Central United Methodist Church with his siblings, David, Elizabeth, and Lawrence. Richard attended Charles Elementary, Test Middle School, and Richmond High School, graduating in 1980. From there, he obtained his Bachelor's of Science in Civil Engineering degree from Purdue University in 1984, and his Master's of Science in Civil Engineering, Structural, from Purdue University in 1986. He was a member of the Purdue All-America Marching Band. After graduating with his master's degree in structural engineering, Richard worked for DYK Pre-Stressed Tanks in San Diego, California. Richard met his wife Patty in 1984 after returning to Purdue to work on a senior project. They married in the fall of 1986. In 1989, their first child, Lucas, was born. Babies change everything. Richard and Patty wanted to be closer to family, and Richard researched engineering opportunities in the Midwest. While speaking with his parents about returning to the Midwest, Richard's father, Russell, suggested working with him at Porter Poster Service. Richard returned to Richmond for 2 weeks and shadowed Russell and other Porter staff. Richard and Patty decided to return to Richmond. Within a month, they left their jobs, sold their home, and loaded everything they owned into a U-Haul. In August 1990, Richard became the third generation at Porter Poster Service. There were many challenges being the younger generation, from technological advances in finances to fax machines in the office. There was also the challenge of getting cell phones and computers for the sales staff. In 1994, Porter Poster Service changed from a partnership to an LLC, now known as Porter Advertising, LLC.
He's also looked at ways to expand the business because it's a thing where, so for example, last year Richard went out and purchased quite a few billboards from the Tom Raper Foundation that are out on I-70. And while you might think that's okay, that's his business, no, that's a huge commitment to a whole new type of billboard. Though most of his billboards are on city streets or on county highways, the first venture out onto the interstate business. And I think he's done really well with that endeavor, and it's a way for him to continually look at how to update, refine, and improve the business that he's in.
On October 14, 2002, while on a cruise in the South Pacific, Russell passed away. It was a shock to the family and the business. Joan was stranded in Tahiti for 4 days, waiting for the weekly plane. Richard remembers well his father's memorial service and seeing the impact Russell had on the community, with so many friends wanting to be present and remember Russ. Richard took the reins of the company at that time. For almost 20 years, he has been the managing owner of Porter Advertising. The board continues to include family members, Richard's 3 siblings, David, Beth, and Larry, and their mother, until her death in March 2017. In his free time, He's an avid motorcycle rider, averaging 10,000 miles per year, as well as playing tennis and traveling.
He's a free-spirited guy. He loves to get on his motorcycle and ride it across country. He's even ridden his motorcycle across Europe. So he's a free spirit. He's also a guy that is thinks a lot about, in a very serious way, about how to improve things and improve not only the work that he's doing with charities, but the people that work for him. He's a very caring individual. He appreciates loyalty. He appreciates family.
Some of the improvements in the business include a new poster system that is safer and faster than the old paper poster and glue process. Also, the materials were updated from paper to polyethylene, which lasts much longer and enables advertisers to reuse and relocate their advertisements. Richard and his children have many fond memories of checking billboard lights and getting a Dairy Queen treat afterwards. With the new satellite-based light system, this is no longer necessary.
I think it's great what Richard has done. It's very difficult to be in a family business, especially second generation, third generation. It seems that not a lot of the companies can continue on to the next generation, and Richard's done a great job taking over after his father and grandfather. And now I understand his son is joining the business, and oh, that'll be wonderful for him to work with his son. So Richard is so creative. I don't think that we could have done all the billboard advertising over the years without his creativity and his help. We'll sit together and we will work on creative ideas for our advertising, our marketing.
A couple things I really respect about Richard, and they relate to his business as well. I don't think people recognize and realize how much Porter Advertising gives back to the community via billboards. He does an awful lot as an in-kind situation. There may be a cost to actually print the poster itself, but he is wonderful at helping out local charities and putting up billboards all across not just Richmond, and we all think about Porter Advertising in Richmond, but it's so much of a bigger company, and it spreads out over 7, 8, 10 counties in 2 different states. So he's very good about giving of his company's efforts in putting out things for charity.
Richard is involved in the out-of-home industry at the state and national level. He serves on the Outdoor Advertising Association of Indiana, the Outdoor Advertising Association of Ohio, and is a board member for the Outdoor Advertising Association of America. Richard also participates in the Independent Billboard Operators Organization. In addition, he serves on the WayNet Board of Directors and is highly engaged with the Boys and Girls Clubs of Wayne County. He now serves on the National Area Council Committee representing the states of Indiana and Kentucky to the National Board of Governors. He is also currently the board president of the Alliance of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Indiana. This is an organization that helps all the clubs around the state collectively share in the government grants by pass-through money to each of the clubs. He was the first inductee into the Indiana Area Hall of Fame of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Indiana, received the Jeremiah Milbank Gold Medallion Award at the Boys and Girls Club Regional Conference in 2011, and the W. Clement Stone Outstanding Achievement Award at the Boys and Girls Club National Conference in 2019.
Richard is very generous within the company and businesses that he works with, but he's also a huge donor of time. And when I say that, you might think, well, okay, that's good, he goes to meetings. No, he travels all across the country for the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. He represents our club, our little local club here in Wayne County, but he also represents all of the clubs in Indiana, all the clubs in Kentucky. He is their representative on the National Board of Governors of the Area Council, and to do that means he travels not only within those 2 states, but to many of those national meetings on his own time and his own dime. And now Richard is really literally known by the highest levels of Boys and Girls Clubs of America for this country. If you go to our national headquarters and ask, what do you know about Richard Peterson? They can tell you plenty of stories about Richard, but they will also admire all the time and effort that he's given them.
In August 2019, Richard's eldest son, Lucas, and his family returned to Richmond and has been working at Porter Advertising. Lucas is the fourth generation. Richard has many fond memories riding in his grandfather's Crosley golf cart through the neighborhood during visits for weekly family dinners. Richard often visited his father and grandfather at Porter Poster Service and enjoyed playing with the tiny locked drawers in the giant 1800 safe. During holidays and school breaks, Richard would enjoy family visits.
I think Richard is deserving of the JAA Business Hall of Fame, becoming a laureate in that, simply because it recognizes local business people who've done well and who've been a part of the fabric of the community. And you can say that clearly, without a doubt. Richard Peterson, Porter Advertising, his wife Patty, their whole family have been part of the fabric of Richmond and Wayne County for decades and decades. And so I don't think that there's anyone more deserving than Richard Peterson for this award.
Junior Achievement is proud to honor one of this year's laureates for the 2020 Business Hall of Fame, Richard Peterson.
Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Richard Peterson.
Thank you very much. I'm short. I'm only 5'7", so this milk crate actually works very well. I used to have quite a few of those in my college dorm room, as I'm sure many of you have as well. You know, I remember sitting here 15 to 20 years ago at one of these JA events and listening to the stories of some of the people that had been inducted. People like Bob Rosa, Alan Roser, Richard Jeffers, and Stan Vigran, and thinking to myself, wow, you know, I'd like to be up there one day. I never really thought it would happen, but I really aspired to follow in the footsteps of those people. If I only knew now, what I wish I had known then, that it's not an individual thing. It's, you know, you are helped by many, many people. And I could have never done this by myself. Along the way, I had great people to mentor me, to support me, and to encourage me. I would like to thank those who have helped me along the way to be a better person. I have an amazing, talented staff that works with me. Terry and Bo, who are here tonight, represent us in 11 different counties in 2 states, and they have done an incredibly, just amazing job. Micah and James and Troy, who have worked with us for over 20 years, go out every day and deal with the rain, the elements, the wind, climbing billboards, and yet they do it day after day after day. So thank you all. Thank you guys for doing that. Deanna, who has been with us for about 1.5 years now, has brought an amazing ability to communicate with everybody and a refreshing, positive attitude. Thank you, Deanna. I really appreciate that. And now my son, Lucas, who you heard to, gave up his career in becoming a professional golf pro, working in California, playing golf with the likes of Barack Obama, which fortunately I didn't put that picture on the screen, but he's actually helped him play. And that was, he worked at a course where when President Obama would go back to Hawaii, he would always play that course. It was a very high-end course. But I look forward to working with him every day now and sharing some of those experiences. None of us would have had this opportunity if it weren't for my grandparents, Carol and Florence Peterson, Florence and Carol Porter, and my parents, Russ and Joanne Peterson. They taught me the importance of planning, investing, and giving back. We are actually celebrating our 75th anniversary this year. So it's actually a very, thank you. I've learned from volunteering at the Boys and Girls Club that there's so many things that they have taught me. I think it's helped me in business tremendously. And I appreciate everything you've done, Bruce. Your trust in me, your encouragement, your leadership have actually made me a better person, a better citizen, and a better business owner, and I thank you for that. You are a leader that lifts people around you, and I've actually thought about selling my business more than once or twice in the last 15 or 20 years during those stressful times. And if I ever did that, I would probably go off and run a Boys and Girls Club somewhere else in the country. I don't think I could have done as well as you, but that's kind of what makes us very unique individuals, is that we all have our gifts and talents. When I look back at some of the leadership roles that I have assumed in the Boys and Girls Club, as well as other organizations, I don't know if I was really ready for it, but I stepped up anyway. And through your encouragement, I have persevered, so I really appreciate that, Bruce. You learned in the video that I have a master's degree in structural engineering, but I had no idea how to run a business when I moved back to work with Porter Postal Service over 30 years ago. But I could design you a pretty damn good post-tension concrete potable water tank if you were a developer. Approximately 15 years ago, I met a lady, her name is Dana Harrison with Synergistics Consulting. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here tonight because of health reasons, but she was planning to come. But I met her at an IU East business seminar. And Dana patiently taught me such foreign topics as how to deal with human resources and various type of management strategies. One light bulb moment for me was I was kind of always a pessimistic person and always worried about things. And she taught me to look at people in a very positive way and to assume positive intent. We all communicate in different ways, and if you assume positive intent, that's generally what people are doing. They just communicate it in different ways. I don't have an MBA, but thanks to Dana, I learned to communicate better with my staff, and I have a solid roadmap for Porter Advertising in the future. So thank you, Dana. My wife, Patty, and my children, Lucas, Ethan Michael, who unfortunately wasn't able to be here today. He was going to drive over this morning from Syracuse to New York, but thought better of it considering the current state of our health crisis. And my daughter, Marissa. Patty allowed me to do what I felt was necessary for the business, even at those times that I was singularly focused on the business. She raised our kids, she cared for our home, and for that, Patty, I'm truly thankful. Many of you have heard of the verse from Luke 12:48, to whom much is given, much is appreciated, or much is expected. That's kind of been a guiding mantra in my life, that I have been blessed abundantly, and I view it as my responsibility to help give back to others. And the majority of the way that I do that is through volunteering and helping other nonprofits throughout the community. The voice that you hear in the background is my first grandchild. I told her to sing along with me. She's actually turning 1 year old in 2 days from now. So we're all heading down to Evansville tomorrow for a weekend celebration with my daughter-in-law's family. There's no shortcuts to being successful in life. I don't consider myself there yet. I still have an awful lot that I want to accomplish. But you must be very diligent in the things that you do. Don't be afraid to stretch yourself, to find something you're passionate about, but be sure you know the why in the things that you do. Why are you volunteering? Why are you running a business? Those are incredibly critical things. I'm not incredibly passionate about selling advertising, but it's a means to my why of the other things that I can do. Some of my passions are just now coming out, as you saw on the video. I am very passionate about riding adventure motorcycles and traveling around the world. Fortunately, through the help of my staff and my family, I actually plan to jump on a motorcycle this year and drive to Prudhoe Bay, Alaska and back. It's about 9,000 miles round trip, but I will do it. It will be fun. I encourage all you to surround yourself with smart, incredible people, positive people. That's a critical element. I think I've always tried to outwork my competition by planning hard, by doing, working as hard as you can. Oftentimes I'm the first one in the office and I'm the last one out the door. I'll go home and put in a couple hours. But I think that's critical to get ahead. So I think I'm a very driven person. And so I try to outwork everybody and take smart risk and give back. I mean, that's what we're all here for, to support organizations like Junior Achievement. For all those who have stood with me, I thank you, and I definitely appreciate this honor.
Milk Crate is getting a workout tonight. If you'd have told me I was hosting an event and a Milk Crate would be used so much, I would not have believed it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our second laureate for the evening. Our second recipient, the man known for his care and compassion towards not only the people in his life, but the animals too, Dr. Richard Siebert.
Dr. Richard W. Siebert was born in Cleveland, Ohio on October 18, 1931, to Walter Hans Peter and Lillian Margaret Siebert. He was the youngest of three sons. He graduated from West Technical High School in June 1949 and the Ohio State University School of Veterinary Medicine in 1957. Dr. Siebert's father immigrated to the United States from Germany at the age of 18. His father lived through the Depression and therefore passed along to his children the value of working hard. He met his wife, Mary E. Klein, on a blind date, and they married on March 25, 1956. After graduation in 1957, they moved to Richmond, Indiana, to start his veterinary career. Dr. Siebert originally came to Richmond to work for Dr. Robert Miller at the Richmond Veterinary Hospital and bought the veterinary practice a few years later. He operated the practice on Northwest 5th Street from 1957 to 1971. In 1971, Dr. Siebert moved the practice to Chester Boulevard, where it became the Animal Hospital of Richmond. He built the current home of the Animal Hospital of Richmond on South L Street in 1992, where he practiced until he retired in 2000. In retirement, He worked part-time for the Animal Alliance until 2011.
Dr. Siebert was the most kind, caring, and incredibly intelligent man I've ever known. I was just in awe of all the things that he knew. He could carry on a conversation with anyone about anything. I had the privilege of working for him for 20 years, and he was a great man, great to work for. We had a lot of fun. We worked hard, but we had a lot of fun. He was an amazing veterinarian and a great people person. He had a way with animals, but he was also really good with the owners as well. His diagnostic skills were spot on. His medical knowledge was incredible, and he kept wanting to learn even more. And he was a gifted surgeon. I remember one day, after a particularly difficult surgery, I asked him, "So how did it go?" And he said, "Well, I jerked another one from the jaws of death." And I chuckled. So then he said, "Yeah, just call me Dr. Wonderful." And then we both laughed, but it stuck. And from that day forward, we called him Dr. Wonderful. So that year for Christmas, I bought him a custom-made coffee mug that said Dr. Wonderful. So when he opened it, of course, he just busted out laughing. But it stuck. And to this day, on my calendar, on October 18th, it says Dr. Wonderful, because that's his birthday.
His proudest moment in his career involved his clientele and his staff, along with the building and creating the veterinary hospital on South L Street in 1992. He wanted to create a caring and comfortable environment for his clients and employees. He treated not only the pets, but the person on the other end of the leash.
I just respect the fact that Dick got to know his clients, because he earned a trust with those clients because he was taking care of their pets. And as we all know, our pets are very important to us. And Dick would do whatever it took to make those people happy and to take care of their pets in the way that they wanted them done. I know many times if Dick had to put a dog down, Dick would actually go out to the house, spend time with the family, and it meant a lot to those people, and I really respected Dick for that part of his practice.
He was passionate about his career from the early days of making farm calls and house calls in the middle of the night to volunteering for the Animal Alliance.
He always did a certain amount of charitable giving. Even after he sold the practice and retired, he went to the help shelter and he did spays and neuters for them, volunteered, did whatever veterinary medicine needed to be done there along with the spays and neuters. And he also did spays and neuters at Animal Care Alliance too. So he always stayed involved even after he was retired. He knew everyone in town, everyone. And he would say, this person is married to this person, they have 4 kids, the kids are involved in this sport, and this sport, he's related to this person, they work at this, and I'm like, how do you do that? I was always impressed that he knew all the time everything there was to know about everyone. And that's just because he cared. You know, if he didn't care, it wouldn't matter, but he cared.
Throughout his life, Dr. Siebert was active in the Richmond community. He served on the Wayne County Health Board for over 50 years, was elected to the Richmond Community School Board, and served as a board member for West End Bank and Forest Hills Country Club. He was honored for his lifetime devotion to the community in 2010 when he received the Art Vivian Award for his community service from the Wayne County Chamber of Commerce. He was an Indian Guide leader in the 1960s and a study buddy at Hibbert in the 1990s.
The one thing that really impressed me with Dick was his mentoring young students from Richmond High School and other schools in the county area, and brought them into the animal hospital, worked with them, told them about the veterinary practice, all the things that were involved with it. and he was really involved with young people, and that's what, you know, JA to me is all about. So Dick was very strong in that area. I think Dick is deserving of this honor because, you know, whether you're a single business owner like Dick was, professional, or whether you're a mid-level company or a large company, you still deserve the honors by what you've been doing in the community, and very involved with, like I said before, with young people and the mentoring of those young people. And I think Dick is very deserving of an honor like this, and I'm so happy for him to receive it.
Richard and Mary had 4 children, Julie, Judd, Molly, and Millie. He was proud of his children and greatly enjoyed his grandchildren, Alex, Madeline, and Max Kane, Richard and William Siebert, Lydia, Forrest, Bergen, and Hadley Templin, and Henry, Lillian, and George Dickman. He even had the great blessing of 2 great-grandchildren, Zoe and Ava Kane.
Dr. Siebert's family was set up exactly like my family. He had 4 kids, there were 4 of us. His oldest daughter, Julie, the same age as me. And then he had a son, then my brother, you know, too. So, and then he had 2 younger girls, Molly and Millie. He loved his kids more than anything in the world. And he was always all about family. And I know there were times that they had been invited to some really cool parties and really neat functions in town, but there was something going on with the kids. He was the consummate parent. They were both just fantastic parents, and their kids turned out wonderful for it, and their grandkids. They're really close to the grandkids too, really close. And they have a place down in Sanibel that they go, and the whole family goes. And I know that that's probably some of the best times of his life he spent on the beach down there with them. He was a great family man.
Dr. Siebert was a supportive and loving father and grandfather. He loved to attend his children and grandchildren's extracurricular activities, from the band performances and sporting events to graduations, always beaming with pride at their achievements.
Some of my memories with Dick is when we were going to different conventions. Dick loved to sing, and in the evenings we would probably sometimes wind up at a piano bar or someplace, and Dick was kind of like the Pied Piper. He would get people singing around the piano bar, and it was not only our group, but other people came in and joined in. And Dick not only knew a lot of songs, but he also knew all the words, which we couldn't believe. But he also kind of helped the piano player, and Dick loved to sing.
He sang in the office. He was fluent in German, so I enjoyed hearing him speak German. He even had a pair of lederhosen.
He loved reading, vacationing on Sanibel Island, fishing, doing crossword puzzles, history, geography, and his Ohio State Buckeyes. Dr. Siebert was a trustee for St. Paul's Lutheran Church and was also involved with Central United Methodist and First English Lutheran Church.
There were 3 things that I really respected and knew about Dick was his love and compassion for Mary and his family, the Ohio State University, and a good, dirty martini. But he was a fun guy, fun to be around, loved people, and a great, great person for the Richmond community.
But if anything, the kids and grandkids were the ones who were proud of him. "Your dad is Dr. Siebert?" they often heard. "We love him." Junior Achievement is proud to honor one of this year's laureates for their 2020 Business Hall of Fame, Dr. Richard Siebert.
Please join me in welcoming Phil Dickman. He accepts the honor on behalf of Dr. Siebert, along with Dr. Siebert's wife, Mary Siebert, and his daughters, Julie and Millie.
Congratulations, Richard and Bruce, on your award tonight as well. And I'm honored to be up here to accept this award on behalf of Dick Siebert and the family. It was about 1 year ago today that we laid him to rest, and so it's been a tough year. And but I want to introduce the family. So if you would please stand, his wife Mary Siebert. And his daughter Julie Kane. And his younger daughter, and my wife, Millie Dickman. I did all right. Also, we have some of the grandchildren that were able to make it. There's some that had issues to get here for this event, so we're lucky to have some here. So we have Madeline Kane, Julie's daughter. And Millie and I's daughter, Lillian. And our youngest, our son, George. Thank you. So first we want to thank Melissa Davis of Junior Achievement. She was great to work with in putting this together and helping with the video. And I thought they did a great job with that. And also I want to thank Lori Carr with First Bank. Lori was very instrumental in this event and helping put this together, and so we appreciate Lori as well. Thank you. And I also want to thank Robin Henry and West End Bank for sponsoring our tables tonight, so thank you. So if Dr. Siebert was up here, he would be pretty proud of what he heard. Kathy, she was with him for many years, as you heard, and he often told us that he couldn't run that hospital without her. So thank you. And Tom Cox. Tom, that was great. Tom is, for those of you that know him, he's salt of the earth, and he was great friends with Dick Siebert, and I was fortunate enough to get to know him early on when I became friends with their son David back in high school. So I've known the Coxes for many, many years, and a tremendous amount of respect for them and what they've done in the community as well. So thank you, Tom and Kathy, for being a part of the video, and it was a great tribute for Dick Siebert. Thank you. You know, back when I was first dating Millie, so I was over at their house one time, and I had like a cut on my hand, and Dr. Siebert says, "Oh, I've got something for that." And so he comes over and gives me this little tube of ointment, and it says Panalog on it. I've never heard of Panalog. And then I turn it a little bit and it says, "For dog and cat use only." I looked at Millie and she's shaking her head like it's okay. I'm thinking they're trying to get rid of me. But it worked, and they had a tube of that in every room of their house, for all I can remember. But there's really not much more I can say about him. He was a great guy. For those of you that had the chance to know him, just a tremendous individual, and I'm fortunate to be able to be married into the family and have been his son-in-law. So, you know, a lot of people over the years had said things to Millie and I and Julie and family about how Dick and Mary were like the welcome wagon for Richmond. And I know many of you in this room probably had the pleasure to, when you first maybe came to Richmond, and more than likely you had a family pet. And so a lot of times were directed to Dr. Siebert at Animal Hospital, and we heard so many times about how we met the Sieberts and they were so welcoming and told us about things in Richmond and maybe people to meet and introduced us to people, made us feel so welcome. And I heard that so many times, and so I think that was one of the attributes that the two of them had as a kind of like a little dynamic duo there at the Animal Hospital, and I think a lot of people really appreciate that. So I think in closing, there was no better advocate for Richmond and Wayne County than Dick Siebert, and we truly miss him, and we appreciate you being here tonight to help honor him in this way. Thank you very much.
Incidentally, everyone on their way out will be getting a tube of Panalog, just so you know. It's going to be waiting up here at the table. Just grab one on your way out. The final laureate this evening has been the leader of a tremendous growth of B&F Plastics over the last 10 years. And that person is Bruce Upchurch.
Bruce Upchurch was born June 8, 1964 in Muncie, Indiana. He was adopted by Joe and Mary Jane Upchurch when he was a week old. He has one brother, Brian, who currently lives in Indianapolis. Bruce attended Delta High School and graduated in 1982. He knew he wanted to go into manufacturing and went to work with Borg Warner Automotive in 1983 and stayed there 12 years. He and Paul Birch Jr. became friends through boating, and Paul convinced Bruce to come work with him at B&F Plastics in 1995. Bruce worked alongside Paul as the plant manager and played an important supporting role when Paul became president of the company after his father's death in 2005. B&F Plastics is a custom sheet manufacturer in Richmond, opened in 1988 by Paul Birch Sr. and his son, Paul Jr. They currently manufacture products for building, boat, and RV industries, thermoforming, automotive truck mud flaps, and sport flooring. Through the years, they have grown to include die cutting, hot stamping, slitting, molding, and square cutting. Paul and Bruce made a great team, growing B&F Plastics through the years. They were in the process of increasing their production lines and products by building Plant 3 when Paul was killed in a car accident in June 2009. A huge void was left in Bruce's heart and in the leadership of B&F. As Paul's friend and cohort in business, Bruce worked hard to make sure the plans for B&F's growth stayed on track, including the opening of Plant 3. Not only was Bruce charged with ensuring the business would continue to operate and grow, he also needed to make sure the company would remain open and operate locally. With this said, he began negotiations with Bob Kramer and Paul Jr.'s son, Paulie, and the three of them purchased the business from the family estate in 2010. Since becoming the president, Bruce has been able to grow the company to employ 79 full-time and 25 temporary staff. The product capabilities and applications continue to grow, and sales have more than tripled in the last 10 years.
Bruce, has worked his way up and has really helped grow the company. There's stories out there to where he's stayed out in the plant all night just to make sure things are, continuing to run and that everything's taken care of. He is constantly working, thinking of new ideas, new things, how we can grow our business, how we can, increase profitability. We're always thinking outside of the box, whether it's just driving down the road or being at a department store. He's constantly calling me or texting me or wanting to know, hey, we should look into this side of the business, or maybe we should branch out and maybe look into this business.
Bruce's parents instilled in him the value of good work ethic and dedication to everything family from a very early age. This continues to be the driving source of success for Bruce. He couldn't have gotten where he is without his family and friends. His brother Brian has been a steady source of advice on business and finance that has proven invaluable. Bruce has one daughter, Chelsea, who is the light of his life. He also met and married his soulmate, Beth, and they reside in Naples, Florida with their dogs, Monty and Molly. In his downtime, he relaxes with sports, boating, and entertaining family and friends. He is an avid racquetball player and will leave his opponents bruised, battered, and exhausted. He takes great joy in hosting get-togethers with family and friends, whether it's a weekend at the lake, Memorial Day parties at his home, vacations, or hitting the links.
A lot of people may not know this, and Lynn and I are aware of it, that Bruce is very aggressive in his golf swing. Would you say so?
Yeah, I think a lot of that comes from his aggressiveness when he used to play a lot of racquetball.
Exactly. Very aggressive
Yeah.
in racquetball.
Yep.
Yeah, and that spilled over to the golf game, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You know, they say that a light grip on the golf club is absolutely the best way to go. I think Bruce missed that lesson.
Yeah, because I think he prefers a very, very strong grip, maybe over 100% rather than 80%. Would you say that?
More like 150?
Yeah, yeah. Now, from my experience, maybe yours, Lynn, I think we realize that when you grip that hard on a golf grip, that it's going to wear out.
Yeah, gets real smooth,
yeah,
real slick.
And when you swing that hard, that fast, what happens?
Well, sometimes you can lose your grip in a golf club.
Yeah.
And you know, it can be very dangerous for those around.
Sure.
When a golf club comes loose and goes flying.
Yeah, you just hope that when it happens, that it's not a practice swing towards maybe his, opponents.
Right.
But when it happens, and unfortunately, he's maybe swinging away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the unfortunate event is when maybe there's a water area close to where he's swinging.
Right.
And that club kind of disappears, you might say.
Yeah, Bruce is the only guy that I know that buys a set of golf clubs, one club at a time.
Right.
When
And
he replaces his clubs,
Exactly.
because most of them are at the bottom of a lake, or a creek. It's uncanny how often that happens.
Professionally, Bruce's proudest moments include watching B&F flourish and adapt to the industry's ever-changing needs and competition. He has helped build a strong sales and production team and has enjoyed the tremendous growth of B&F under his leadership. Taking care of his employees and keeping an open-door policy is Bruce's key to retaining dependable staff that are eager to produce quality results. Whether it's jumping in to help on the production line, helping someone get out of a personal rut, or making staff feel appreciated, Bruce is always willing to do whatever is necessary to help.
Anytime that you're increasing employment in a tough, aggressive market that he's in, you're doing something that you can be very proud of, and the employees can be proud of what he does. And I've seen him, whether it be at Christmas time or different events, he's very generous and very happy to give back, and I admire that very much.
Personally, his proudest moments all involve his daughter. She has been the light of his life, and the young lady she has turned into has made him one proud father. Winston Churchill said, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." Bruce has made it his mission to give much of what he has throughout his success. Locally, he and B&F Plastics have supported many organizations, including Boys and Girls Club, In Concert, Communities in Schools, Seton Catholic Schools, Richmond Day Nursery, Blue Angels Fund, Forest Hills Country Club, where he served as president of the board, and the Elks. He also supports the local First Tee program. One of the founders, Bob Van Pelt, had this to say: "Bruce has been a major contributor to First Tee. He never wants credit for what he does, but each year he stops by to assess the needs and see what he can do to assist. One year, he stopped by to meet with me and learned that the volunteers were handpicking hundreds of balls after each youth golf session. Bob expressed the need for a golf cart and ball picker, and Bruce made it possible for First Tee to purchase the two items. 2 years ago, the pumps at Glenn Miller were in dire condition. When Bruce stopped to see how things were going and learned of the pump concerns, he took care of arranging for the repair and replacement of the damaged pumps and made sure First Tee never saw a bill for the completed work. This is the Richmond First Tee organization's 12th year, and each year Bruce has sponsored a team and or participated in their annual golf event, and he always supports the auction. The organization, its organizers, and its volunteers cannot express in words just how thankful they are for Bruce's support. Although Bruce lives in Florida full-time, his generosity to local organizations continues. He is also involved in Gigi's Playhouse, a Down Syndrome Achievement Center in Fort Myers, as well as the Special Olympics and the Naples Zoo.
Bruce has helped many people in different ways, but I like to think, there's a term that people have used before, but he's good about giving a hand up to those in need in various social settings that have been, they're disadvantaged for some reason or another, in many cases in no fault of theirs. But he's very, very good at that.
Bruce has been awarded the 2009 Chamber of Commerce Small Business Achievement of Excellence Award, the 2011 Chamber of Commerce Large Business Achievement of Excellence Award, and the 2018 Boys and Girls Club Lifetime Giving Society Award.
Well, I believe he's deserving of the honor because of two things. Number one, the amount of jobs that he has provided for this community and the investment and reinvestment in his business to expand those jobs and that job base for this community. It all ends up being tax money for this community. It ends up being revenue for other businesses in this community. The fact that his employees do business with other businesses in the community. And to me, that's probably one of the most important reasons why he would deserve to be recognized, because, you know, he, like so many other companies, could easily take, if not all, but a portion of his business out of this area, but he chooses not to. He chooses to remain here and chooses to do business here.
I think Bruce is deserving of this honor because he's been a leader in this community. He represents Junior Achievement's core values. Being a former board member and being to these events, just knowing what it takes to receive this honor, it's definitely Bruce Upchurch. He's inspired youth through this community. He's worked his way up and has really been a valuable asset.
Looking back at what he has accomplished, Bruce says, work hard, stay dedicated, find friends that become your family, and surround yourself with good people that you can trust. Junior Achievement is proud to honor one of this year's laureates for their 2020 Business Hall of Fame, Mr. Bruce Upchurch.
Please join me in welcoming Justin Scheiben, accepting the award on Bruce's behalf this evening.
Good evening. Unfortunately, Bruce couldn't make it tonight, but we've somehow been able to get him to Skype in here. So I've had to change my whole speech around. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. He's probably on the phone with Mike Allen and Lynn right now. So, but in speaking with him, he would like to extend his congratulations to Mr. Peterson and the Siebert family for receiving this special honor. We would also like to thank the JA Board of Directors for organizing this event, the sponsors, those of you here in attendance tonight, and of course the great staff here at Forest Hills for accommodating us. Bruce has been in attendance here numerous times for this dinner. He understands and has expressed to me what a great honor it is to even be mentioned with such an elite group of Business Hall of Famers. Bruce is not only a business partner, but he is a great friend and a mentor of mine with a big heart. This honor does not surprise me one bit. He's well deserving of it. I can't even begin to list the behind-the-scenes work he has contributed to this community. Nearly 10 years ago, I put my trust into Bruce's vision, and more importantly, he put his trust into me. He has been a great leader that knows how to put a successful business team together. We couldn't have success without our office and our production team, and he believes that each award is a team award. Joining us from our team this evening, we have Chris Smith, who has been with Bruce for more than 20 years, Mike Hager, and Joe Peroni. With these three gentlemen, they've been a huge, vital part of BNF's everyday success, so thank you guys. Now, we cannot forget our wives and significant others as part of the team. Holly, Michelle, Sherry, and Jody, they put up with the long hours, the weekends, the trips away from home, and the late night phone calls for many years now, so thank you. When you look at the list of Hall of Famers in tonight's program and this evening, all of them have come from various professions, businesses, and backgrounds. The backbone of this community is strong. Although BNF does not have but a few customers in this area, we have the support from many vendors and business peers. Without these business women and men, we could not be successful in our day-to-day operations and our vision for the company in this community. There's a majority of you sitting out here at each of these tables tonight that have had a positive influence and impact for BNF Plastics. And we are deeply missing one of them this evening, our good friend and neighbor, Steve Mosey. Thanks to all of you, we are proud to call this community home. Bruce is truly appreciative of this award, and I'll make a commitment to the JA Board of Directors that I will hand deliver this to him in Florida as soon as possible. Coming to you, Bruce. Thank you, guys.
If possible, I would like to put up for vote that we get Mike and Lynn to comment on every video from now on. That would be great. Even if they don't know them, they'll just make something up. We need to give away our Grand Prix tickets. So grab your ticket and we'll find out who the winning number is. So again, tickets to the Indianapolis Grand Prix, the IndyCar Grand Prix coming up. The number is 393789. 3789, the last four numbers. Pull up your hand if that's you. Make sure you get you the tickets. Again, the last four numbers are 3789. If that's you, congratulations. You're a winner. Those tickets, $250 for the tickets to the IndyCar Grand Prix. Congratulations to all of tonight's honorees. Junior Achievement is proud to honor these three laureates tonight. They've helped make Richmond and Eastern Indiana a great community in which to live and work. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the evening tonight. Thank you so much. Stay safe, be careful, and have a good evening.